I'd like to call the October 27, 2025 Board of Trustees, Charleston School District Board of Trustees meeting to order. First line item, I'd ask everybody to please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. And if we could invite our special guest.
Hey there, good evening. My name is Mr. Holbrook. I am the proud principal of AC Cochran Elementary School. This evening, not this morning, I have Bianca, I have Caitlin, and I have Kai here to say our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which I stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You all can please seat. And if we could invite in our next special set of wonderful student guests.
Hello, my name is Amaya Williams. I'm a fifth grader at Charleston Progressive Academy. We have a few students that we representing the 8 habits. I hope you enjoy.
We are surely going to enjoy. Let's give her a round of applause. Recently, when we visited Charleston Progressive Academy, Mr. Broey and I, their focus is on the leader in me, and their proud principal, Ms. Sheets, please stand up. Their proud principal toured us around, and I left so very happy. If you don't know, Charleston Progressive is an elementary school here on the peninsula, and they are rated good, good, good. That deserves another round of applause. But we get to visit a lot of schools, and to be very honest, these children unprompted walked up to Mr. Broey and me. Am I telling the story, Mr. Broey? I am telling the story. No, I'm not. That's what I thought, Mr. Broey. True story. A true story. These children walked up unprompted and said, "Let us tell you about the habits that make you successful," unprompted. And I said, "You know what? I think you need to tell our board members too." And so here they are, and I don't really know who's in charge. Who's in charge, Queen? Okay, you're in charge. Who gets the microphone? Do I give it back to you? Okay. You give it away.
Hello, my name is Alana Brown. I am a fifth grade leader at Charleston Progressive Academy. Today, I'll be talking about habit number 1, be proactive. You are in charge of yourself. I am free to choose and responsible for my choices. I look for alternates and choose the best response. For example, if someone is being disruptive in class, be a leader and follow the directions while listening to the teacher. I choose to be proactive, not reactive.
Good afternoon. My name is Jay Buford, and I am a 2nd grade leader from Charleston Progressive Academy. Today, we're going to be learning about having to begin with the end in mind. I set my goals for myself. For example, at CPA, I have a leadership binder. In my binder, I have my iReady fall score for ELA and math, and I know how much I need to grow to reach my stretch growth by May. Good evening. My name is Nancy Mancio, fourth grade leader in Michelle's class at Charleston Progressive Academy. Today I will be introducing habit 3, put first things first. This means we work first, then play. For example, I work first. I do the things I have to do before I do the things I want to do.
Good evening. My name is Damani Myers, and today my habit I'll be talking about is habit number 4. Think win-win. Habit number 4 is all about finding a win-win solution for two people to get what they want. For example, if two people are fighting about the ball and we have 10 minutes of recess, they each can split the ball for 5 minutes so they both can get what they want.
My name is Amir Flowers, a fifth grade leader from Charleston Progressive Academy. Today I will be speaking about habit number 5. Habit number 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. I listen to get another person's point of view. I listen with my ears, heart, and soul. I don't reply, disagree, or agree.
Good evening. My name is Armand White, and I am a fifth grade leader from Charleston Progressive Academy. I will be talking about habit 6, synergize. What is habit 6, synergize? Synergizing is when we work together and we don't let anyone out. For example, at the end of each month, we have a leadership rally, and all the grades get a chance to lead the rallies. So we're putting together our small ideas to create one big idea.
Good evening. My name is Maya White, and I'm a third grade leader from Charleston Progressive Academy. And today, my habit is habit 7, sharpen the saw. Well, what does that exactly mean? It means make good choices and balance is best. How can you make good choices? You can make good choices by eating healthy, exercising, and even by going to the doctor. Yes, I know. How's going to the doctor a good choice? Well, it's a good choice because you're not healthy. You'll become healthy by going on a diet or taking medicine. And how can I balance my heart, mind, and soul? Let's start with your heart. You can balance your heart by standing up for others when they don't have the courage, and that's filling mine and their bucket. How can you balance your soul? You can balance your soul by being inspired. How can you balance your mind? You can balance your mind by memorizing things like a speech. How can I compare my academics with the 7th habit? Well, I can compare my academics with the 7th habit by getting it done when it's time to, working hard on it, putting effort, and checking it twice and focusing on it. So the 7th habit is a big habit. So make sure you follow it. But don't just follow the 7th habit, follow all the habits.
Good evening. My name is Mia Richardson, and I am a fifth grade leader at Charleston Progressive Academy. My habit is habit 8. Find your voice and help others find theirs. For example, if you have a new girl at your school and they are super shy, ask them, do you want to be friends? If they say yes, include them into every activity you do, and ask them, what is your talent?
Now we're introducing the kindergartners who singing a song about the 8 habits. Be proactive. Be proactive. You're in charge. You're in charge. Habit number 1. Be proactive. Be proactive. You're in charge. You're in charge. Habit number 2. Habit number
amazing.
That
Ms. Sheets, will you come up? Ms. Sheets. Councilman Moody, I'd like you to see you doing that synergizing thing, sir. Yeah, I see you got some moves there, sir. Come on up. So as our board members join, Charleston Progressive Academy. See, they should have listened to rule number 3. So Charleston Progressive Academy boasts a 90% poverty rate. 90%. And children are achieving at very high levels, which proves to the world that it can be done, Mrs. Sheets, and it can be done with a lot of strategy, and mindset early on. So thank you for your tremendous leadership. You're on your way to excellent, and you all keep synergizing. You look amazing. Look right here at my friend, Miss Sully. You're going to take a photo, okay? Everybody on 3. Look at Miss Sully. 1, 2, 3. Keep smiling. Keep smiling. That's right. Cheese. Cheese. Just not like you.
Yeah.
Okay. I was on.
James B. Edwards does this.
On that positive note, we can all go home. On to item 1C, which is the adoption of the agenda as posted. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as posted?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved and on. On to, we're gonna have to do the minutes separately tonight, because I hear we have some potential adjustments. Do I have a motion to approve the September 23rd, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved as posted. On to item 1E, which is the approval of the October 1st, 2025 special call board meetings.
Mr.
minutes.
Borowski, may I make a motion to that? I'd like to move that we approve items, where are we? 1E, F, and G, all at the same time, unless there's an objection? No? Okay.
I think we
So we'll
have,
go one at a
yeah,
time?
we have some
Okay.
changes. So anyway, back to where we are on item E. I need a motion to approve the October 1st, 2025 special call board meetings minutes. Do I have a
move.
motion?
I move.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we remove item E and send it back to remove it until the next meeting. There's some discrepancies that we need to go through, and this will give us more time. We can put it on the next board meeting. I move that we remove item E from this agenda.
I second it,
All in favor, say aye.
but we've approved the agenda.
No. This is the minutes.
These are the minutes.
Just remove item E.
Yeah, this is item E. We have a problem with the way the minutes.
I understand, but she's asking for it to be removed from the agenda, but we've already approved
We
the
did,
agenda.
we did approve the agenda. That's true. That's posted. Yep.
Mr. Parliamentarian,
I think it's a majority, a super majority.
yeah, I think if you have at least a majority vote, we can have.
A
the
majority
minutes.
vote could certainly remove it from the agenda if that's the desire of the body.
Right. Would you, and that's the motion you made, and that was the second you made. Any
I have a
discussion?
question. Ms. Robertson, what are the discrepancies?
The numbering of the bylaws, some of them are incorrect, and then some of they're missing. So we need to go back and align those to who said what in the correct numbers.
And I think that's
fair.
That's
Yep.
fair.
Yeah.
Anybody any objections to the motion? Hearing none, the minutes are removed from the agenda. That's item 1E. 1E.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I could just ask that the board members get with the board secretary and let her know.
Sure.
We could have updated those before the meeting tonight, but if you'll let us know, we'll work,
We had a lot to do this weekend.
I understand,
So-
but we'll be glad to rewatch and compare and contrast and get those updated with the board secretary.
No harm, no foul.
And just,
Thanks.
I think, I mean, as a suggestion, I just think if we could follow the line item numbers, that would help. In other words, if it was 4.2.
A little
just
bit
have
more
the
reflective
minutes
of the
relate
actual
that,
meeting.
yes.
It would be
That's fair.
that'd be very helpful. And we're happy to adjust those however they need to be adjusted for ease of the body.
We can do it. It's not hard. We could do it. We'll send it.
But
Thank
it's
you, Ms.
important to get
Robertson.
the record
Yeah.
correct on that
Sure,
one.
sure.
So,
Mr. Grabowski, unless there's an objection, I'd like to move that we now approve the minutes for items 1F and 1G.
Second.
Okay.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as posted. On to item 2 in the agenda. Superintendent.
Item 2, special recognitions. I'm going to turn that over to Andy Pruitt and Michelle Mills. Thank you, Mr. Pruitt.
Good evening, everybody. Board of Trustees, Superintendent Huggins, district leaders, and community members here for this evening. We want to celebrate our recent South Carolina High School League state champions in boys swimming. First, we are going to start with the Academic Magnet High School boys team, who won their first team championship in 12 years. The Raptors, you can go ahead and applaud, yeah. The Raptors took the 3A championship in Columbia on October 10th, scoring 512.5 points, rolling past second place St. Joseph's Catholic School, which scored 426 points in the team standings. This is Academic Magnet's third state title in boys swimming, previously winning in 2012 and 2013. The Raptors also had a pair of individual state champions. Parker Hamilton in the 100-yard freestyle set a new school record for this event with a time of 46.67 seconds. And Logan Patterson in the 100-yard breaststroke with a time of 52.24 seconds. Congratulations to Coach Jacqueline Healy, Coach Ben Harley, Coach Danielle Hanline, and the Academic Magnet boys swimming team. All right, create a third row behind.
Not to put the board up front. Tall guys. Tall guys, I know, yeah.
Good call.
There we go. Congrats.
All right, next up, we have individual and relay state champions from the Wando boys swimming program who all captured gold at the South Carolina High School League 5A Division I swim meet in Columbia on October 9th. Luke Green won state titles in the 100-yard freestyle and the 200-yard freestyle events. Teammate Roman Heckrell won the 100-yard butterfly and the 200-yard freestyle relay team of Green, Heckrell, Patrick O'Connell, and Brody Johnson took the gold with a time of 1 minute and 27.98 seconds. They all helped lead Wando to a third place finish in the standings for the team. Way to go, Wando. All right, finally, we have the state champion representatives from the West Ashley High School boys program. Sean Graber won the 100-yard breaststroke state championship with a time of 57.44 seconds and teamed up with Daniel Eldridge, Gabe Smith, and Reed Scott to win gold in the 200-yard medley relay. They all contributed to the Wildcats' fourth place finish in the team standings. Congratulations to the West Ashley boys swimming program. Again, another round of applause for our state champions in boys swimming. Mr. Barowie, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Before announcing the 212 award, I'd like to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the first responders who support Charleston County School District each and every day. Tomorrow, October 28th, is National First Responder Day. We want to pause to recognize the extraordinary men and women who serve our community and within our schools with courage and compassion. So please give them a round of applause. So for the 212, when emergencies happen in our schools, help is often rendered by our own dedicated staff who act swiftly and selflessly until first responders arrive. Today, we are honored to recognize two such employees who have exemplified calm, courage, and extraordinary care. At this time, if I can have Mallory Hay, please stand. Oh, she's right there already. I thought you were still back there. Mallory's our school nurse at at Angel Oak Primary. And I'd also like to recognize Jerome Wine, a facility team member who is unfortunately unable to attend today. On Friday, October 10th, 2025, CCSD maintenance employees were cutting concrete at Angel Oak when a saw kicked back, striking an employee in the face, causing a severe laceration. In that critical moment, Mr. Wine immediately called 911 and applied pressure to control the bleeding. Stayed composed until Nurse Hay arrived. Nurse Hay quickly assessed the situation, used a stop the bleed kit to provide emergency care, and worked to stabilize the injured employee until EMS arrived. Their quick thinking and teamwork made a tremendous difference. That same week, Nurse A responded to 2 additional emergencies, one involving a student with a broken bone and another with a severe allergic reaction. Her quiet professionalism, steady presence, and deep care for her students and colleagues embody what it means to go the extra degree. When notified she would receive the 212 award, she simply shared how much she loves her job, a reflection of her genuine heart for service. Nurse Hay and Mr. Wine, thank you both for your extra effort, calm leadership, and compassion, not just during this emergency, but each and every day. CCSD is deeply fortunate to have you serving our children and staff. Mr. Wine will receive his award at a later date, but we are pleased to present Nurse Hay with the 212 award today.
On to item 3 of the agenda, which is the public comment section. Tonight's public comment is for issues relevant to the district's business. Our policy prohibits using this time to discuss personal matters, private or confidential matters, or to make personal or derogatory remarks. Comments about ongoing litigation must not be made in open session. Those topics are handled with our counsel with appropriate in executive session. If comments violate the policy, I will end the speaker's time. Thank you for helping us maintain a decorum so we can focus on the education of students. With that being said, we have 3 people that have signed up for public comment. So we will have your full allotment of 2 minutes. Miss Kathy McQueen, the Reverend Cynthia Smalls, and Victor Williams, please.
Good evening, Chair, Superintendent, and members of the board. As a taxpayer and community member, I am deeply concerned about the continued use of public funds for prolonged legal matters that are simple in nature but seem to benefit attorneys more than the district or its students. 3 years of legal fees on unresolved issues represent a failure of oversight, not strategy. Every dollar spent defending delays is a dollar not spent improving classrooms, supporting teachers, or raising students' outcomes. I respectfully urge the board to provide stronger oversight and transparency over the district's legal expenditures. We need clear reporting, fiscal accountability, and policies that ensure decisions are guided by what's best for students, not what's profitable for law firms. Justice denied is justice delayed. And so is progress when taxpayer dollars are wasted. Thank you.
Man, you left me 42 seconds. Thank you. Good evening. I'm Reverend Cynthia Elaine Smalls. Luke 12:48 says, "To whom much is given, much is required." Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent Huggins, and the members of this board. As a true servant of God and a shepherd in this community, I come not in anger, but in conviction. Scriptures teaches us, to whom much is given, much is required. With great responsibility comes the duty to use people's resources and taxpayers' dollars wisely. Yet for more than 3 years, taxpayers' dollars have been drained by prolonged legal matters, issues that could have been resolved with honesty, urgency, and compassion. This type of pattern reflects wastefulness and a lack of transparency while our students are still waiting for renovation to buildings, mental health counselors, and additional support staff. We cannot preach accountability to our children when we fail to model it as adults. Every dollar spent defending delayed legal terms or legal issues is a dollar stolen from a child's opportunity to learn and thrive. I urge this board to exercise true oversight and to ensure that the district fiscal decisions honor both public trust and God's command for justice and stewardship. Because justice delayed is justice denied, and poor stewardship is a sign, a sin of action. Amen. Superintendent Huggins, you inherit this problem. It didn't start with you. You inherit this problem. I'm asking you, as a woman of God in faith, to do something. Do something. 3 years is too long for any family to be going through. 3 years, the only body making the money is the attorneys and the law firms. Let's look at our children. Our children need that money. Taxpayers are putting too much into the system. So please, Board of Trustees, I plead with you. I plead with all of you. Do something and do it quickly. Our children need you. Thank you, Superintendent Huggins. You're doing a great job. I've been watching you. So continue doing that, like you brought Charleston Progressive. Very good. You were there to see how those kids are doing. Thank you for that. Please, 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 I beg you, I plead with you, do what's right for our children. I'm a taxpayer in this county. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Victor Williams. To the chair, superintendent, and members of the board. Tonight, I want to express my concern about the overextension use of taxpayer dollars for legal expenses. While our students continue to face challenges in reading, math, and mental health support, the pattern of prolonged legal spending on matters that could and should been resolved years ago reflect wastefulness, a lack of urgency, and trouble lack of transparency. It sends the wrong message to the public and to our children that the adults in leadership are more focused on defending decisions than improving outcomes. Every unnecessary legal bill, every single legal bill resolved from the classroom, from teachers, and from the students this district was created to serve. I urge the board to recommit the focus and fiscal responsibility and oversight to ensure that every taxpayer dollars is used to educate and empower children, not to extend legal battles that do not benefit them. Our students deserve better. Charleston deserves better. And tomorrow I'm going to pay my taxes. And I'm hoping that not 1 cent of my tax dollars go to legal fees. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Trudy, is my correct that we have no written comments? Excellent. So that ends the public comments section of this meeting, and I will turn it back over to the superintendent, Ms. Huggins.
Thanks, Mr. Grabowski. A quick assessment of legal fees comparison. Mr. Prentice, do you have those numbers?
Yes, ma'am. So
Thank you.
we have been paying very close attention to the legal budget for the district year over year from FY 24 to FY 25, which you'll see those numbers officially when the audit's released. We're down about 5% in legal fee cost, and we're projecting a further decline for FY 26 based on the year-to-date trends where we stand at this point in time. That's complemented by a number of factors between oversight, our in-house services that we're providing with staff attorneys, as well as our overall risk strategy with the different losses that we're insuring from how we've adjusted our liability policy. So just wanted to give that brief update in terms of where we are. We'll have again more to share as the audits released for FY 25.
Thank you, Mr. Prentice. We're delighted tonight to present the superintendent's report with a video to start for our spotlight on our ML teachers and our ML students and how they sometimes transition into the role of teacher and teacher assistant in the district. So Maggie, if you'll show that video.
Meet Angelica Chavez, a multilingual kindergarten teacher at Midland Park Primary School.
Might have to start again, Maggie. Can we?
Wanting to interfere with another activity or event that you have.
There we go.
And Magali Torres.
I like blue.
Meet Angelica Chavez, a multilingual kindergarten teacher at Midland Park Primary School.
What works, because I don't want it to interfere with another activity or event that you have.
And Magali Torres, a bilingual parent advocate working in the Department of Multilingual Services. Both spent their entire time with CCSD as students. Chavez graduated from R.B. Stahl High School and Torres graduated from West Ashley High School. They are thankful for the education they received, but there were obstacles to overcome.
When I started school, I did not speak English. I spoke Spanish. It was very difficult because there was not a lot of support. So school for me was just like something I had to do, but I didn't enjoy it.
As a young child, I did not realize that I was struggling with reading and writing. I did not at all. It wasn't until I went to college and I was like, whoa, I need help.
Fortunately, those experiences did not deter them from public education. In fact, they felt called to return to CCSD.
In high school, the teachers that I had, they saw something in me that I didn't see. So they encouraged me to become a teacher. And they were like, because you will be a role model for these students.
The position I have now, I feel it would have helped me in my younger version if there was someone that spoke Spanish in the building, that there was someone that understood my culture, my background, where I came from, what my parents lacked in access and how they couldn't help me.
However, it is not just service to children that motivates Chavez and Torres to give that extra degree of effort. Supporting the entire family is what changes lives and the community.
The population I serve has a great need. It needs a lot, but I see that it has a lot of potential and they just need the right guidance. And if we can teach our parents to help their students tap into that and get on the right track and really become the best version of themselves, that's what really drives me.
I think of myself as the bridge between home and school. I grew up in this community. I'm still part of this community. My family lives in this community.
One could say there is a special bond between our multilingual staff members. Their shared experiences, especially for those who are from CCSD, motivate them to be their best so the students today can be their best.
We all want to set high expectations for our students. Just because they don't speak English doesn't mean that they are not intelligent. We know that it's just a barrier for now, but we are trying to break it.
It's me being something that I didn't know existed, something that I get to do what I love, helping, what I want to have a generation that can be even better than I am.
So it is Hispanic Heritage Month. And you see there how we have educators in the system who came up in the system, know the challenges of the system, and want genuinely to connect with our students and see them achieve at very high levels. On the next slide, you'll see here a quick update on the number of multilingual students in our district now. 2,563 are brand new, they're newcomers, and more than half of them, way more than half of them, require direct services because of lack of English acquisition. 2,300, nearly 2,300 have enrolled since 2020, since COVID, and 37% met English proficiency targets in 2025. So we did see a gain with ML students, and we saw a gain in areas of achievement among our ML students, as you know, in English and math last year. So we're really pleased with that. You'll see how the numbers have steadily increased, particularly post-COVID there. This year with an enrollment of 7,084 students in our system that are multilingual. On the next slide, you'll see where most of those students attend school. And all of these schools, as you'll note here, are located in North Charleston, Stall, Pinehurst, Cochran, Dunston, Northwoods, Midland Park, Meeting Street, Ladson Elementary, and North Charleston High. So we're really proud of the work that we're doing with multilingual students. I want to thank our principals who have led heroically, Dr. Angela Rush, who works closely with CAO Simmons to really ensure that our schools have support, and all of the community advocates, Lydia Cotton and others who work with us to reach into the community to ensure that we are blending student needs, their tier 1 needs with their academic needs to make sure that they're well served. Very quickly moving on to the work we launched last Friday with a 30-member team to focus on AI in the district. The core purpose of this team being to bring to you an AI policy that you can approve to serve as really how we do AI work here in Charleston County. The group is also intended to create guardrails around which teachers, leaders, and students utilize AI in our system to challenge themselves and to challenge the system, quite frankly. You'll see here the to-dos, develop that policy, build out AI literacy for the board and for staff, work on a communication and a rollout plan so that by next school year, we're ready for full implementation. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Prentice, who's really leading alongside Dr. Clamp this work over in the IT world for the next 2 slides. Mr. Prentice?
Thank you. So we spent the last several hours on Friday with a large group, again, going through strategy and planning for the future of AI for CCSD. And I think this is a really compelling graph in terms of where AI has gone in the last few years. In terms of, artificial intelligence, when you think about artificial intelligence and things that are kind of just predictive or assistive, and all the way down to generative AI, which is what we're seeing now with ChatGPT, and some of the more developed components of artificial intelligence that exist in our world today. AI has been around for a long time. It just wasn't something that was as robust and as developed as it is in the current time. But when you add in those components of machine learning and deep learning, the ability for AI to mimic human behavior and to do things that are really advanced in terms of writing clear text and generating pictures and all of those things that happen in generative AI, all the way down to developing code. All of that is based on those things before it. So we're excited about being able to bring this group through its paces and recommend a policy to the board in December that sets the tone for AI and CCSD and helps us develop our infrastructure and our strategy and the systems that will ultimately deploy to our schools to support the work of students and teachers throughout the system consistently. If you'll go on to the next slide. So this really started in earnest back in the summer during the Charleston Educator Symposium. We focused on adding a number of AI-driven sessions to the content that was being delivered to educators throughout CCSD, with the understanding that over the next several months, we would launch a process to develop guidelines, policy, strategy, and bring that forth to the board for adoption. So as we started to walk through who's doing this well, where are things happening with AI in the K-12 space throughout the United States, AI for education, firm that delivers these types of services and helps K-12 systems think through that development and deployment, came to the forefront, and we brought them on board to help us walk through the process with their subject matter expertise. We brought them to a workshop, again, as mentioned last Friday, with different stakeholders from throughout the system, from students, parents, teachers, administrators, district office staff, to all think about how we want to bring this together. We're going to bring them to a workshop with the board at the committee of the whole meeting on November 10th to present to you and give an opportunity for the board to ask questions about the direction that we've undertaken so far, and to really receive a high-level understanding of the use of AI, generative AI, in the K-12 environment, and what we're thinking about recommending by way of policy, knowing that policy is kind of that highest piece of the funnel. And then, we work our way down into strategy, standard operating procedures, and all the other pieces of it, with the goal of bringing that again back to you in December. And then after the policy is adopted, we want to launch an intensive professional development around AI literacy training for teachers and students to a certain degree throughout the system in the spring, all the way through the end of the current 2025-26 school year, with the goal of launching the AI infrastructure and the overall strategy at the beginning of the 26-27 school year, and significantly part of the Charleston Educators Symposium that happens next summer. So we're just getting started, but a lot of great work underway. And one thing that really resonated with the group this past week is that, AI is very new in South Carolina. South Carolina is one of 16 states in the country that do not have a State Department level AI policy or AI strategy. And so if we can come out of the gate with something really strong, like we've done with many other things with weighted student funding and some of the initiatives that are happening in Charleston, we have an opportunity to lead and influence this work for the state, and hope that we'll follow suit from there.
Thank you, Mr. Prentice. So next month, we'll come back to you with a little more information. And then in December, we will hope to bring forward to you a policy on this, so that, and get your input on it before we implement with implementation plans and processes to follow. Mrs. Watley, you want to?
So I've chosen to use my travel stipend for the Cognia training, which is going to, all of the courses that I'm going to take are specifically for AI.
Oh,
and
good.
I would hope that the CFO, Dr. Clamp, perhaps yourself would, if you don't go to the training that I go to, then perhaps the Cognia training, or even have them come here.
Ms. Watley, I'm going to ask the superintendent to finish up on your report, and then we can ask our questions after. I really would like you to finish your report.
Thank you, Mr. Grabowski. And Mr. Prentice, recently, we had some principals, actually, I think Mr. Perlmutter's in the room. Are you ready to present on the conference you attended, sir? Not really. We've had some principals, Mrs. Watley, and trustees who've gone to sessions. I think Mr. Prentice has been to a session or two to help sort of inform this work and lead this work. And we have some thought partners who are helping us with it too. And anything that you have, you bring back, we'd be happy to take from you, Mrs. Watley. So, and any of the rest of you for that matter. So again, AI is our focal point. We know that many of you have had questions about it, so we wanted to make sure to give you this quick update tonight after Friday's meeting. And again, we'll be back in November with more. Very quickly, we'll go on to the next slide. The next few slides we presented to you at last Thursday's State of the Schools. I want to thank all of you for being there and being so supportive in preparation for that event and execution of that event. These things will really be guiding our FY27 budget strategies as we come to you to talk and engage with you around your thoughts about the process. We'll be bringing items to you about instructional focus, believing that excellence is in the classroom and that high quality teachers and leaders really propel that work forward. 2, investments in the science of reading and OG. We know that those things are working in our system. And so as we talk to you about budget priorities, we'll really be prioritizing the work around literacy. 3, we continue to monitor very carefully the WSF and our resources. Mr. Prentice and his team have developed a dashboard that actually reports out on ROI for strategies, so that we know where we have high yield with high results and expense or low expense compared to low yield with low cost or low expense. For collaboration in classrooms, we're rolling that out as we can in regards to the co-teaching model. It has to be done very well to be effective. You saw models of that at Pinehurst, for example. We hope to expand that to Dunston and to a few classes at Morningside mid-year. We believe that partners are key to the work. So many of them have contributed generously to the work. Ms. Denny right now is talking to the CRDA, in fact, about partnerships and why they're so important. And lastly, our work around data-driven meetings and PLCs, we believe are critical to taking the system to the next level. And so as we talk to you about our budget priorities, you'll see items and strategies embedded that are aligned with our core beliefs. You'll also see strategies to handle or to address absenteeism with our students and families, in addition to poverty. We're examining closely Dr. Clamp, Mrs. Simmons on their side of the house, and the rest of us from a systemic view about how these things impact our system and what we need to do to ensure that kids are well served. We're going to stay the course in these areas as I've suggested, but then you'll also see, and for the public who was not able to attend the State of the Schools, we're going to be talking more about expanding opportunity, next slide, Maggie, and access around giftedness. How do we make sure that we're identifying all students who need and deserve gifted services and really push the system to include students that just need that little extra support? We've already got things in place that other districts in the state don't, but we want to do even more in regards to giftedness. The next slide will suggest to you that building all of this around accountability is critically important to us. We're in the process of student data reviews now. We have them on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, for example, and we're really focused on 90-day plans and how we work with our principals to ensure accountability. The next slide will be our efforts to really rethink how we're doing alternative programs, and we're going to bring a plan to you really soon after some community engagement around that, and increase special education support. You know how critically important that is. While we've seen gains in reading and math with special education students, we need extra resources. And so the FY27 budget will include a plan for that. It will also include a plan for expanding early childhood in the district to a universal type state in one constituent area in the first year. We believe in that. We know that helping our system help children at a very early age is imperative, so that an opportunity gap, an outcomes gap never gets created. And so we're really excited about the prospect of that and the feedback we've gotten on that since State of the Schools. The last thing here is developing teachers and leaders. We want to keep great teachers in the classroom. And so right now, Gail Morris is working with Dr. Clamp on a plan to develop a robust teacher leadership cohort group that will allow great teachers to stay in the classroom, mentor other teachers, teach school, and support the administration as they can. And we'll be sharing that more globally with you as we finalize those plans. So again, I want to thank you for your support. You'll see on the last slide here sort of a summary of these things. Of course, we'll be prioritizing salaries as we go into the FY27 budget. We'll also be prioritizing ways to support the start time shift in District 9, 10, and 23 next year. The reimagine we've already talked about, and we may be bringing another line item in regards to transportation as we think about how to make sure all kids get to school on time and ready to learn. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Grabowski.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the report. Mr. Prentice, on the AI issue, Blue Books. I mean, when you hear everybody talking about it now, it's going to be hard to stop on the smartphone, hard to stop on the computers. And really the only answer comes down if you're going to get a true opinion, which goes back to your handwriting courses that I hope we are teaching these kids how to handwrite. I mean, I just, everything that, we're looking at, it's all being handwritten. I mean, it's like the only way that you can, so it's just food for thought. Because you're spending all these hours and all these seminars, and it just, you know, when you look at some of the higher academics and what they're saying, I mean, they're going back to Blue Books.
That actually came up in our workshop on Friday.
It's like,
And
Duke, I mean, it's just like, that's where they're going. I
well,
mean,
and
anyway.
I apologize. I
No,
say
I'm
that-
sorry. Yeah.
No, the full circle, and that, you know, that nobody's really done this yet, but you know, the AI changes the way that people approach critical thinking. And so if it's going to be integrated into the way that we teach and the way that we learn, you know, formative and summative assessments have to take that into consideration, and ultimately bringing that back around in terms of, you know, how people are interacting with the world they face, and some of the data, you know, showing, I think, some 70% of employers looking for people that have been trained on different AI techniques and their ability to interface with them. And so, you know, really cautioning away from, you know, avoiding this trend, because it, you know, from college and career readiness standpoint, people aren't going to be ready for the modern workforce. So it's a very interesting topic and doesn't really have a lot to do with finance, but I'm intrigued. And in terms of leading over our IT work, really am enjoying being immersed into it.
And we
And
still do
I'll leave
teach-
this last question for Mr. Brigman, because, you know, just knowing that we're talking about retention of teachers, and we had this, you know, the wonderful push up, which gives us what, the 3-year kind of like stability. And then when I look at the date, you know, how long our experience, I mean, it's phenomenal, the amount of experience in this district, but realizing that, you know, they're all pushing way past 28 years. And I just hope that the district's really looking at that, because I'm really getting concerned when I look at the teaching colleges. And, you know, it's one thing to be a waitlisted for a nursing program. It's another thing for them to be begging you to come into teaching. So, you know, I hope we look at that. With that, my long tirade, are there any other,
that wasn't.
Ms. Wiley, would you like to finish?
Yeah, thank you. So back to the AI, you know, I'm taking courses at the Citadel for Business, continuing my education, and they have a really strict AI policy there. To Mr. Prentice's point, it is important to not use it to do your thinking for you. But I've been learning like various different AI prompts and how to use it in my business, and to even asking it to guide me through how to do marketing and promotions and things and navigating social media and stuff like that for marketing and things like that. I definitely think that it has a place, but I agree that there is a very distinct line of it doing your thinking for you and then hindering your ability to learn. I also like the idea of utilizing models like we see Elon Musk doing, where you can interact with it. And I think in that way, as long as you're learning the materials where you can debate with it and go back and forth with it. There's a model that I've been chatting with back and forth. It's a scholar on scripture, which I also know a lot about, so I can go back and forth with it on those kinds of things. And then the one last point that I wanted to make was on the expanding early childhood. I think that as we move forward with that and expanding that, I would also very much like to see like what they do with Mary Ford and utilizing the parental skills and bringing the parents into the picture as well, because I think that we can pour into children, but if it's not being reinforced at home, and I know I've spoken with Ms. Foxworth about this, so I'd like to make space for that as well.
It's a great point. Thank you for that feedback, Mrs. Watley. We agree with you that teaching, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication are really, that is really critical to student development. And so we honor that very much, very much. So there's a place for AI, and we have to figure out how to teach it responsibly, not only with students, but with educators, so that we make them more productive and ready them for whatever they want to do next. We do still, Mr. Grabowski, teach handwriting and all those things. And Mrs. Simmons is affirming that right now. You want to tell them when we teach it, Mrs. Simmons?
Absolutely. I know a couple of the trustees are particularly interested in this. And so the state standards dictate that we teach cursive at 3rd grade, but the given adopted curriculum that we chose in CKLA provides for direct instruction at K through 2 for print and cursive at 3 through 5. So we are teaching it indeed.
We really do appreciate your comments. They mirror a lot of ours. It was very interesting after I was debriefed by Dr. Clamp and Mr. Prentice, and actually a principal. I think Mr. Perlmutter actually called me after the session. Weren't you in it, Mr. Perlmutter? Yeah, to talk about, it was really interesting, the perspectives of more veteran humans and their younger counterparts. I see some grins, but nonetheless, I think my understanding is the group went very, very well. I was not able to attend on Friday, but lots of good feedback about it. So thank you for your input.
Dr. Temple.
Thank you for your report, Ms. Huggins. Well, I'm very interested in AI as well and have enjoyed it and using new tools that
Yes.
I didn't know were out there. I've attended a lot of sessions in our school board meetings, and I hope the work that I've sent, especially the framework from Ogden, Utah, was
Yes.
very helpful because they really had invested a lot into that, and I thought it was very good. So I'm looking forward to what we have. The universal pre-K, I'm a big fan. So I'm wondering, you said it's going to be in another location. Is this similar to the early childhood centers that we're already doing at Mary Ford and James Island?
So, yes, ma'am. We're considering a universal pre-K program in another area in the district, and yes, ma'am. It would be, and we would want to do some parental engagement to keep parents abreast of how to keep their young learners engaged. But you and I, as an educator, Dr. Temple, and even if you're not an educator, that what best practice and research tells us is that the earlier you can grab those littles, the better.
I know, I have a great granddaughter that we're
I know.
celebrating.
She is sweet too.
On transportation, I just want to say this because this really bothers me when I wake up in the morning. We wish we could figure out a way to have our students,
Yes,
especially
ma'am.
our elementary students, not boarding buses in the dark.
dark.
So I'm just gonna leave it there. I really do want you to think about that because I as a parent would be very concerned. And then special education, I'm looking forward to hearing what you're thinking about that. I recently visited Patterson's Academy.
Yes.
And having family members with special education, I am very concerned about how we help our students in school, but also how we prepare them for when they leave our school. I know that piece is a community concern and I'm bringing it forward to the community, but I think that we're going to need partnerships between the school system and the community because we cannot have students who leave our system and then can't get a job for a year and a half. We have to have more support from our community to help that transition.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Is Ms. Bell here tonight? Yep. Talk about our partnership. So, Dr. Temple, you make lots of good points. I think none of us love that the kids get on the bus either in the dark. And we know that's a concern of yours, and we appreciate you sharing it with us. And we agree on special education. In fact, Ms. Simmons, Dr. Clamp, Mr. Prentice, Mr. Brigman, and I, we've worked nearly all year on the special ed needs in the district because they are significant. In fact, I think we maybe just talked about them again today, didn't we? And so we're doing more about bridging the gap in preparedness. And I want Mrs. Bell to tell you about it in 90 seconds. Can you do it, Ms. Bell?
Okay, all right.
Okay,
You
Ms.
know,
Bell.
She knows I'm a detail person,
Yes.
so I'm going to speak. So we have a program called Project Search, and I think we might have talked about this a little bit, but now we partner with MUSC. We used to partner with Embassy Suites. So our students who are following a credential pathway, they are able to go and apply to participate in Project Search. And now that we're with MUSC, they can work in the department. Now we're having them work in the emergency department, which I think is very awesome. But we can give them a lot of skills that they can put to great use. And sometimes it leads to jobs for them. As part of a student's IEP, we're required to do transition planning. We partner with vocational rehabilitation, so we already have them involved in our IEP meetings. And we're getting ready to host another transition fair, probably in March on a Saturday. And all of our community partners who are able to offer post-secondary assistance and support will be invited to that, along with parents. And we'll do a big flyer and offer lots of great opportunities for parents to come and find out more about vocational skills that in post-secondary that they can hopefully assist with when it's time for their child to graduate.
So just wanted to make sure you knew we had that going on, but not to say that there's not more we can do. Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Well, we're always looking for
Absolutely.
ways to improve. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bell. Thank you, Dr. Temple.
Ms. Dunlap. Ms. Roberson, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Ms. Huggins.
Thank
for your
you, Ms.
report.
Roberson.
I have 4 questions, and I'm going to start with Mr. Prentice first. When you were talking about the 30-member team, and then you started using the word them as subject matter experts, who's the subject matter experts again that you brought to the table?
So a firm called AI for Education. It's a group that's worked with about 500 districts nationally to help implement AI strategy, provide AI literacy training, and other various systems of support. So we engaged with them for kind of a first phase look with us at developing the strategy and policy component of it, and to help us think about how we'll deliver professional development.
Okay, and then, but they're not a part of the 30-member team, the 30-member
No,
team
ma'am. They
is-
were facilitating for us.
Okay.
So the 30-member team was teachers, administrators, parents, students, all related to CCSD. We had a very diverse group in terms of age, demographic, and role within the district or their place in terms of being a parent or school.
Okay. And everyone knows my next question. Is there anyone from the Sea Islands, the rural areas as a part of this?
Dr. Clamp has a full list over here. We had Ellington, Johns Island. Yep. Yeah, we did. I think we had all corners of Charleston County represented. Again, all ages represented. 2 from St. John's. Yep. So it was a good group, a lot of perspective, and really people that were gung-ho for seeing AI advance in the K-12 space, and people that are a little more reserved to try to bring all of those perspectives together. We had someone that's an AI researcher, someone that teaches computer science at Clemson, someone that teaches computer science in CCSD, someone that is involved with AI and teaching and learning at MUSC, external to the district, but also as a parent. So we've been actually taking not say taking names, but we've been taking down contact information over the course of the last 8 months or so as people have reached out to us and asked us what we're doing. And we reached back out to those folks and said, hey, we're ready to start talking about this in a bigger space. Would you like to come back to the table and be part of that conversation?
Thank you. So Ms. Huggins, now I'm going to come back to you with my last 3 questions. I'll start with the easiest one first.
Okay.
So we are talking about the transition to the start times for D9, 23, and 10. And I'm
Yes.
concerned because they're all my district. I share 10
Yes.
with Trustee
Lieber. Yes, ma'am.
And so it's in our consciousness, but is there a plan to send reminders out to the
Yes.
3 districts that it's going to happen?
So Ms. Roberson, on my cabinet agenda every week, our cabinet agenda, there's a list of things to follow up on. And that stays right there, 9, 10, 23. And there's a clear communication plan. And Mr. Gordon is representing the CCSD at, I think, a state volleyball tournament.
But we
And
met today.
And so you met today, and I'm going to ask Dr. Clamp, and if Ms. Mills needs to fill in anything, she doesn't like the microphone. So talk about the communication plan. Dr. Clamp?
Yes, ma'am. And we do cheer on the West Ashley Wildcats as they compete in the playoffs tonight. Mr. Gordon is there with his family supporting his daughter. We met today with all of the principals in the areas that would be affected as we've been doing significant research and really refining what those start times would be for the elementary schools, the middle schools, and the high schools. So we presented all of that information today on a virtual call to all of the principals so that they could continue to ask us questions. We've had collaboration with transportation. We even went out and watched the other morning, Dr. Knauer, myself, several other leaders, to watch the traffic right in West Ashley specifically to see how that interacts with both the high school and the middle school there on that campus. So we needed all of that data to be sure that we had the appropriate times allocated for all of the schools that were going to be affected. And then the next phase will begin that communications arm. And so Ms. Mills is working with us on that. We're very excited to begin communicating that out slowly and surely. And we're also being very mindful about supports that parents might need, whether that be before school or after school. We were having those conversations today. So our Kaleidoscope team, our expanded learning team, is ready to support that. And we'll get information and numbers from our principals to ensure that we have adequate staff and the supports needed so that the families will be comfortable as those times transition and change.
Thank you, Dr. Clamp. Ms. Mills, the first communication is scheduled November? So that for the public who couldn't hear Ms. Mills, which was purposeful on her end, the first communication right now is scheduled to go out Friday, but Rich and Luke, based on some of their on-site things in the last 2 weeks, may delay that. If not, it'll be going out in the next week. So it's on our radar.
Yeah, and I appreciate that you did the actual visitation to West Ashley, but I think it's probably going to be necessary to do one on Johns Island as well. The traffic there is becoming horrendous early morning and then anytime after 3 o'clock. So we would want to watch that as well on Johns Island, but thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll move to my next question back to you, Ms. Huggins.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
We are talking a lot about the 90-day plans.
Yes.
And I think I brought it up before with new principals. One, how is that coming along with new principals? And two, would it be possible for maybe a couple of principals to come and present the 90-day plans? I would like to, not to get in the weeds,
Sure,
but to actually hear what a 90-day plan is all about, because I don't want us to put a lot of, for lack of a better words, without knowing exactly what a 90-day plan is. We may think as the governing body, but we think a 90-day plan is, but it could
Sure.
be very well different what you all are thinking. So I think it would be good for us, and I have one more question, to actually hear and see what a 90-day plan actually looks like.
Thank you. I appreciate that you all care about that. So let me think with staff about a way to thoughtfully do that, because it is rather dense. There's a lot of stuff there. And I want you to be able to understand what they look like and what they are in action, because really they are a roadmap, and they are meant to be revised along the way when things aren't working, when things are. There are benchmarks and a timeline for goal setting and checking in. I think Mrs. Haynes, who's here, we talked about 90-day plans again. I can show you the agenda for today's meeting with the principal supervisors and Ms. Simmons and Dr. Clamp. We talked about that just today, about our role as central leaders in meeting with principals and using those 90-day plans in real time. So Ms. Haynes, will you give a 90-second overview of the 90-day plans and how, from your perspective, after implementing them for the last 3 years, it's 5, excuse me, I lose track of years, how it's going?
I just recalled, and board, you may as well, a principal used a 90-day plan to go from unsatisfactory to excellence. And so if a 90-day plan is that powerful, I really, for me, I would want to see what that power is, because that's something that we really should be focusing on.
Yes, we can certainly send you an example of an elementary, middle, and high in the board brief for you to look through, but there's so much in there. I think you would benefit from hearing it. So I might forego a superintendent's report in an upcoming meeting and do that instead. So, but Ms. Haynes, will you give us a quick overview of where you think we are?
Yes, the 90-day plan is very powerful, and it's really a good
resource that we're using with all of our principals, which started in the acceleration schools and the transformation schools. So it is a powerful tool, and it's really great that we're using it with all of our schools. But what it does is it narrows the focus for the principal to see what needs to be done within their school to move student achievement. So they look at the highest level strategies and use those strategies to really focus in on what needs to be implemented within the school to move the students. So it really focuses them. Sometimes as a principal, from my experience, you can be everywhere, but it narrows that focus and we pay close attention to each of those action steps. So those action steps are shared within the school with the assistant principals, with the principals, with the coaches. And as we're coaching our principals, the associate superintendents, we go in and coach them weekly on that 90-day plan. So there's always a discussion on what's happening with your 90-day plan. How are you meeting those strategies? Are you following through? And it allows us to help them focus and helps us focus on the work that needs to be done. So it's an extremely valuable tool. It's the best thing since sliced bread, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
It is. It is. Thank you, Mrs. Haynes. And our SDRs this year, Ms. Roberson, are built around the 90-day plan. Everybody brings their 90-day plan. They talk about the challenges associated with their plan and how they're going to overcome it and what sort of support that they need from us. And so all of our associates have reviewed all the 90-day plans. I've reviewed all the 90-day plans, and in the coaching sessions with principals, that's what our principal supervisors build and ask about when they meet with them. So we're really trying to use it as the framework and the roadmap for quality leadership in schools.
Okay. And the last question. Our two main issues, it seems like that's really holding us back, is absenteeism and
Yes, ma'am.
poverty. My question to you is, when you meet with mayors in your conversations with them, have you asked them what can they do in their respective municipalities to help eradicate poverty? When businesses and housing developments come to their area, do they ask for things, concessions and impact fees that can benefit the school district? I guess I'm wondering, what exactly is their role in helping us to eradicate poverty?
That's a great question, Mrs. Roberson. Really, again, we can't do it alone, and it's going to take that ecosystem of support. When we talk to the mayors, these topics often come up. We talk about needing jobs. We talk about needing financial literacy. We talk about housing. We talk about all things associated with the challenges of our most vulnerable students. So yes, we're talking to them. We're also talking to other businesses. The local program is somewhat built on that ecosystem helping us overcome the challenges associated with poverty, which results in absenteeism, lack of achievement, lack of growth, sometimes lack of just basic needs being met. So we are engaged with the municipalities, and we're engaged with businesses and faith-based leaders in this, and figuring out those wraparound supports to really help propel Charleston forward.
Are they committing to anything?
They do. And they've committed to really the housing piece has been a big conversation, with them, providing extracurriculars and those sorts of things they're helping us with, providing volunteers for schools to support, trying to work with families to understand financial literacy and jobs. And that's really what Miss Denny and Maggie, Miss Dangerfield work on when they think about making these partnerships and bridging these gaps so that kids can, achieve at higher levels, and principals and teachers don't have to lead it all on their own. So we're working on it now, but it's not easy, as you know. It's a great question, though.
Yeah.
We'll
Thank
keep
you.
we'll keep the course,
Okay,
keep the course.
thank you.
If you have other ideas, Ms. Roberson, I'm very much open to them. Things we can ask with your experiences in different places and different roles. I mean, we appreciate diversity of thought, diversity of experiences, so you all know more than we do on certain topics, maybe on all topics. So certainly share your ideas with us. Mr.
Thank you.
Grabowski.
Chairman.
Can I make one?
Miss Bailey?
Thank you. I have a couple of questions.
Sure,
but I
Ms.
have
Bailey.
a
I
statement
just wanted-
first. I almost cried when I saw the beginning of your video for Hispanic Appreciation Month.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I've worked with Ms. Chavez and Ms. Torres.
I
at
could
Menlo
tell you
Park.
got a little bit emotional up there. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
And I can tell you that those ladies have the most beautiful heart
Yes, ma'am. They're
for their
wonderful.
work and for their children. And I've gotten to experience working with them and seeing what they do firsthand. So I was overjoyed to see their hard work being celebrated. So
Thank you,
kudos
Ms.
to
Bailey.
them.
We'll make sure to pass that along.
Yes.
Ms. Mills will make a note of that, and we'll make sure they see this clip so that they can know your appreciation.
Thank you. And my first question is, you had employee childcare programs, expanding them. Could you tell us a little bit about how you're going to do that?
Yes, ma'am. So the employee childcare will expand next year to Johns Island. So we'll add an additional employee childcare to Johns Island. And right now, we're in conversation with internal stakeholders and some external stakeholders about the logistics of universal pre-K in the area that we hope to expand first next year. We're not quite ready. We don't have all the details ironed out, but we believe that we could situate pre-K students in one setting in an area of our district and really do it very, very well. And so we'll be coming back to you sooner than later. We really want to engage with the community. We think they're going to be as excited about it as we are, given the feedback we've gotten since last Thursday. But we'll be sharing more details soon about that. But we also do plan to expand employee daycare over to Johns Island next year.
Okay. And my next question is, I was looking at the expanding career and technical education programs. Okay, how often do we update what is pertinent to the community, or I say the nation as a whole, because jobs change and being job ready for our students in high school is imperative for their success and their family's success. So how often do we check that?
Great question. Every year, Ms. Bailey, every single year with Dr. Gordon, who's again cheering on the Wildcats. Dr. Clamp, do you want to talk a little bit about how you and Rich assess that and adjust as needed? Because it's really important, as you know, to Mrs. Bailey, that we change to the changing needs of the community so that we're producing folks ready to serve the Tri-County area. Luke?
Yes, I'll give you just a great example of how we're doing it this Friday. So this Friday, we've partnered with Dominion Energy, who's going to come in and provide professional development for all of our at our Career Center in North Charleston about the changing landscape of careers just within that company, because so many think that an energy company only has certain careers. They actually have an array of careers. So that is an example of how we're staying current with the current business market and bringing them into our school settings, because the individuals that spend the most time with our children are the teachers.
Mhm.
So this professional development is from career straight to teacher, so that they can take it back into the classroom on Wednesday next week when they see their students again. Other aspects of that include Dr. Gordon staying really current with CTE curriculum around the state and around the nation. And we are constantly auditing that curriculum to ensure it's reaching the highest demand for the careers. But we're really excited about Dominion, and they're not the only company that we partner with. We just sent out this week a really extensive application process for Boeing, who hires our students over the summers in several career fields. And they really target juniors in high school to try to get them really ahead of the curve in terms of making a decision after high school about their career pathway.
Thank you, Dr. Clamp. Ms. Bailey, the healthcare pathway program at Early College High School is another example. You know, Dr. Cole came and said, you know, Anita, I've been trying to do this for a hot minute, you know, and we have more and more needs every day in the healthcare field. We don't just need doctors and nurses. We need radio techs, we need phlebotomists, we need this, we need that. We need, and although we had some programs in our Centers for Advanced Studies, we chose to enter and open the Healthway Pathway program, which would allow for more off-ramps at the early college high school. So we're really trying to respond to the needs so that we can graduate more completers in areas where they're needed.
Okay, do we have anything with the Commission of Public Works? Because we got to keep our waterways safe.
You know what, Ms. Bailey, I don't think we do, but Dr. Clint, will you take note? CPW, sir.
Well
CPW.
noted.
Thank you. Noted, Ms. Bailey.
And my last, I guess, my last statement is, I was talking to someone about AI.
Yes, ma'am.
A few days ago, and making AI work for us and not us working for AI. And
That's right.
and my main priority is to make sure that as these policies are implemented and AI is introduced more and more into our classrooms, that our children are safe.
Yes.
Because there's programs out here with AI that are horrendous.
That are not. And we're aware of that. And that's part of this working group's goal, is to develop the guardrails to make sure they're safe, because we want parents to feel comfortable sending their kids to school. And we want them to know that the resources that they have, especially on our systems, will allow for that safety. And so, Daniel, I don't know if you want to speak to any of that from the work on Friday or just from some of the feedback that you got.
Sure. So a big part of the policy will really be the ethical use of AI, and ethics being, a broad umbrella to say how we allow people to use it, how it's cited, and how we implement it in a way that establishes proper guardrails. Obviously, as it grows, there's certain components, from the outside world, just like with the open internet, that you don't want a child to be able to consume in a K-12 environment. But from an adult use standpoint as well, there are considerations, that we want to make sure are abided by from an ethics standpoint, so that both teachers, central office staff, and students are given consideration to that.
Okay, thank you. And I also want to say I concur with Ms. Roberson about the 90-day plans.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey.
Mr. Hollingshed.
Thank you. One quick comment about AI. I make a pound cake, and for a long time, lately, it's been flopping, and I was doing something wrong. And so Ms. Lieber introduced me to AI, and I went through the steps of what I was doing wrong. Instead of mixing, I should have been folding.
Well,
so
I'll
now
be.
my pound cakes come out pretty good now. So
Well, you've got a friend in Ms. Lieber and AI, I
Yeah.
think.
yeah. So
You need to bring us one of those pound cakes down here and we can check it out for you.
I'm working on a sweet potato one, so
That'd be
I got a recipe
fantastic.
for that. The poverty situation from your State of the School address.
Yes, sir.
I had some citizens in the public ask me, did we really understand what that situation was? And I had a great conversation with Ms. Roberson and Carolina Jewett, just to give you, and then we'll finish this tomorrow. I'm not even going to take up too much of your time.
No, you're fine.
In my district, you hold, as the people that were talking to me, and we'll get into it tomorrow, a powerful gavel. And I want to work with you if I can on trying to develop what we can do to equate a positive solution in that area. Let me just give you an example in my district. I have parents now, and I inherited, as I told Ms. Jewett, a group of Hispanic families within the, Russellville, Ferndale area. And I don't think we really realize the plight that they had coming from their country to here as escaping the plight of their country. But when they get here, I don't know if many of us know about this, but when most of them, for the most point, get here, maybe the husband may leave them and they're stuck with the children. They can't qualify for food stamps. And so they're caught in between a plight of trying to make it, and then their own kind even tries to get them their tax identification number, but charges them a hefty fee in order for them to work. So then they go back into a decrepit situation of trying to work their way out of a hole. And it's almost like slavery. And so, I find myself in my district at times finding myself buying milk, strawberries, and eggs just to give to some families out of my own pocket to help them out because of the children in their household. But what I'm thinking is, and we'll finish this later, we have to figure out a way, one, if you're combating the achievement gap, one, if the parents is not able to understand, as I was sharing with Juliet, the language barrier, we have to find a mechanism, a way, it just can't be that app in the library and they go learn to translate. We got to find a way to get that parent to speak English. It helps that child in that household. But we also have to work on the employment situation, where back in the day, when we were younger, the district would hire people to cut grass, to clean buildings and things of that nature. We can work with other collaborations with mayors and municipalities to try to work on some things, but we need to figure out a way to combat that. And I know we're not going to eradicate everything.
Holland said.
I'm done. We're not going to eradicate everything, but we need to kind of at least kick it around and see what we can do. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now,
for that,
everybody
Mr.
talked
Hollingshead.
30 minutes, and you ain't said nothing. I just wanted to get that one point across. I was teasing.
A long one
But thank
question.
you. But thank you, though.
Thank you for that, Mr. Hollingshead. You saw in the video that, we have closets for clothes and food and things for kids, but it's not lost on me that until we can help families and all overcome poverty, that it's really just a vicious cycle. It's really hard.
Miss McKinney.
Yes. If there is such interest in the 90-day plans from trustees and staff, it's penciled in my calendar. I don't know if it's inked in anywhere, that we have a board retreat on Monday, February the 9th. And perhaps that would be a time we could learn about 90-day plans.
That's just fine. That's very suitable with me. Ms. Simmons also suggested that we could maybe do a spotlight on it too. That might be helpful to bridge that. So I appreciate the suggestion, Ms. McKinney.
Up in cyber world, Miss Jewett. You have any questions?
Yeah, sorry, I was unmuting.
That was so loud.
It's loud.
It worked a little too well, Miss Jewett.
Before we let her speak anymore?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Better?
Yes, considerably. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the universal pre-K, is there a cost associated with it that we already have? And
there will be a cost, and it'll be included in the budget FY27 considerations that we bring to you, Mrs. Jewett. We're working on those things right now.
Okay. And I guess, and you just answered my question, the timeline for getting that.
Yes, ma'am. We're going to make sure we engage with community, and we will be bringing it to you soon because we want to engage with you all in the budget process. Is only October, and we're already talking about FY27, but it's important to us to get ahead of that and do so transparently and work with you all.
Okay. In the presentation, you talked about gifted learners and challenging them. What and how are we doing that to make sure that the students that are at the 98th percentile and so on and so forth are still challenged in our public schools?
So right now, Mrs. Jewett, our teachers are working with those students on their stretch goals and working through Ms. Simmons and Elizabeth Upgrove's office for our gifted and talented identified students to challenge them to think critically with certain exercises and of such. And in other areas of the district where we don't have as many gifted learners identified, we're pulling students and working with them with those similar type of activities. But we're going to be bringing together a team of principals and with Ms. Simmons and Ms. Upgrove and Dr. Clamp, and really thinking about how we make sure that we're as equally focused on giftedness as we are, excuse me, getting students that aren't on grade level, on grade level, it's really important to do that in the system so that everybody, doesn't meet in the middle. We want to continue to push learners beyond where they are. When Dr. Carrie Wright was here with us and consulted with me a couple of years ago, and Mr. Kennedy, this was one area that she looked at and we looked at while she was here. And so we're going to consult with some thought partners around it.
Okay. Yeah, because I noticed, I don't know if it's a school thing or school by school or if it's a district, but SAIL kids in middle school they don't really do SAIL anymore after.
So in middle school, and Dr. Williams is behind me, I can see him in the video. In middle school, students are served in GT through their honors level courses. And that's the model, the current model, but we're going to just look at all that to make sure that we're resourcing gifted and talented effectively. Mrs. Updegrove has told us before that she needs more resources, and we want to make sure that we identify them and equitably distribute them so that we're identifying more students and serving well the ones that we have. But you're right.
Okay. I guess again, looking at the AI stuff, what is the cost associated with that as well? And what,
So our presentation tonight was really to kind of give you all just a heads up of our priorities and what we're thinking. Mr. Brennan, I don't know that we have any associated costs with AI quite yet.
Not yet. So we'll bring that to the board through the fixed cost of ownership budget approval process in February as we work with this group to develop the infrastructure recommendations. If there's something that we need to secure via licenses for next year, that would be included in that budget request, but we'll include more in that in discussion with the board as we work through the strategy and policy planning process.
So it was not included in the 26 budget?
No, ma'am. No, the only thing that we had funding in place for was just the strategy and policy piece of it this year. And then everything going forward from that will be something that we request additional funding for in the future.
Okay. You also talked about co-teaching. Are we looking at like class size decreasing as well with that?
No, ma'am. But with 2 teachers in a classroom, it lowers the student to teacher ratio automatically. Co-teaching is quite expensive. It just is. And so we're rolling it out slowly, focusing on the implementation and how it works in order to make sure it's replicated in a way that brings about the same results. And so it's not necessarily class size reduction, but it does lower the teacher to student ratio in those classes.
Right. But like you're saying, it is expensive. So that's kind of why I mentioned the class size decreasing might be a cost effective way as well. Because if you
Yes, ma'am. So honestly, there's not a lot of research that supports that class size reduction results in higher outcomes for kids. In fact, we're paying teachers to add more students to their classroom when we know they're highly effective. So let's talk a little bit more about that offline. Of course, there is a body of research that suggests it does help, but there's not a lot of data that supports that. The data more supports that students achieve at higher rates when they're with a highly effective teacher.
So on that note, because we've increased wages, the success of a teacher is valued higher. What are we doing to make sure that we have effective teachers in all of our classrooms? And
great question.
We
you all, if you just shouted me around for one day, we wouldn't even need to have a board meeting. We talked about this today too, and lots of different things. The first, though, being the classroom walkthrough tool, which we use to give teachers feedback on their performance. And the only way we know if a teacher is effective is if we're in their class watching them, and then we're using student outcomes to see how successful kids are as a result of that teaching, and then making decisions with those teachers about what they need to do next. So today we talked about that in our meeting right before this meeting at 2:00, and what we do when we see that teachers need support in certain areas, and how we do that as a system to make sure that we improve their practice. Because that is the key role of a principal, is instructional effectiveness and leading to improved outcomes. And we only do that when we're in classrooms. So that's what our principal supervisors beside me and alongside me do. And really that's my job too. And so Friday afternoon, I just showed up unannounced at a school, and that's what we did. We walked in teachers' classrooms because again, that's the role of the superintendent, is to make sure she knows what's going on in the schools and to make sure that all kids have access to a highly effective teacher.
Right. Yeah, because at this point now, if we do have enough teachers, then we really don't need to be, well, we just need to make sure that every teacher is effective.
That's right, Ms. Jewett.
Every single
That's
one.
the best thing that we can do, is to make sure we have the highest effective teachers and that we're supporting them in ways they need to be supported in order to improve kids' performance.
Yeah. And then I guess my last thing is I agree with Carol. The early mornings, it's difficult for parents and
They are.
teachers.
Yes, ma'am. And it's hard. It's even hard for us to roll before the sun comes up. So we know it's hard for kids. So we'll be looking with Mr. Broy and Mr. Lynch on, what we can do in that regard. As you can imagine, it's a hefty budget line item too.
Is that something we can look at as far as what the costs associated with it is as of today? Just because if we started a universal pre-K, we're now putting even younger kids in a situation where they're waking up before the sun rises. And, we all know that the brain develops the most when they are asleep. and so depriving children of their sleep is not great either.
So I think we've been doing a lot of work on this. I know it's hard to believe, but we try to be a senior team that's thoughtful and well-prepared way in advance. And I think Mr. Broy's already done some numbers, and I think it inches about 20 million. Go ahead, Mr. Broy.
Yes, ma'am, that's the magic number.
Is that right?
If
20
we're not
million?
going to adjust bell times to the right, meaning we're not going to let high school kids go at 9:30, we have to go to one shift of buses instead of two. We're thinking 200 buses at 100,000 a pop, 20 million.
So we looked at this after SDRs a few weeks ago. That's what prompted this. That's why we know the number so easily. Because again, if I don't know what's going on, I'm not doing my job as a superintendent. And so, when principals say, our students, they're not there on time, they can't learn. And we think about one tier of buses. Mr. Broy said, we'll look into it. We'll see what we could even do mid-year. And then we looked at Mr. Prentice, and Mr. Prentice said, that's not going to be able to happen right now. So we'll bring you some options, and we'll let you all prioritize and tell us where you think the priorities should be. And we'll certainly make recommendations, but I appreciate your thoughtfulness around your questioning, Mrs. Jewett.
And that was all. Thank you.
Ms. Lieber.
Well, I thought I was going to be brief. First of all, the state of the schools, what an honor, how proud.
That.
And I really would love to see all children be able to expose to your state of the state, just because it makes you proud of the school that you're going to.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Lieber. That's very kind of you.
The other one I'd like to say, driver, shadow a superintendent, not just a principal.
That would help, but
I've made the offer. I suggest other trustees take her, do the same thing. Of course, I would have just said ditto everything, and I sound like a broken record, but then I reflect on the AI, and I'm glad to see us moving forward. And I'd really want to pull on this thread, is that we have the data of all the curriculum, all the supplementary material, and putting it into AI, and therefore analyzing whether it's rigorous, whether it's meet state standard and all of that good stuff. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that happen. And also as my son was exposed to repeating books and curriculum, I think that would be a good way to make sure that it's seamless. I appreciate that everybody has, everybody works with the best capacity they can, but sometimes that communication gets missed. And using AI as a tool like that will definitely make sure that we have really fantastic curriculum without repeating it.
So Ms. Lieber, we agree that the utilization of AI for certain tasks and things that we do is significant and does definitely cut down on our time to do tasks that we took days to do before. So we look forward to seeing how we can optimize it and elevating outcomes for kids.
Yeah, and since I've got 37 minutes, again, I go 37 seconds. Just the agricultural, pull that string on the CTE is we have a retiring population of farmers, 67 is the average. And believe it or not, South Carolina, don't quote me on this, but 22 counties in South Carolina is declining a population. And so my guess with that is it's likely going to have a lot of farmland that's available for future opportunities.
Production. Yes, ma'am.
I know that's weird.
So
Sorry.
Ms. Lieber, so we're actually exploring that west of the Ashley now. Dr. Clamp, you want to give an overview of our exploration?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. Dr. Gordon had a chance to visit a school and do some research on us about an agricultural experience at the middle level. So we have received some really great, happen to know this middle school very well, but we received some great input, and he's putting that information together. I'm going to present that to cabinet soon so we can have some considerations to make.
Did you go to the Florence farm?
No, ma'am, it wasn't in Florence.
Okay, that would have been a good suggestion. I saw in the video. If you want the video, I can give it to you. And I guess just another thing on AI and Kevin, I guess he left, but
he went to go make another cake.
I use it daily to replace things that are not in my cupboard or decide what to cook. So anyway, that's all I have.
That's fantastic. You take photos and upload it and do it.
I do that. Yeah, I do a lot of stuff in AI. My son creates videos.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Ms. Lieber.
And I just want, as we come up to the time where we're going to be electing a new chairman for the board, I just want how difficult it is keeping this meeting. So when you're sitting in this chair and you're asking the superintendent to provide a report, we've been at this now for over an hour and 40 minutes. But
listen,
anyway, with that being said,
my report was only a few minutes.
Yeah. I've heard that before. But with that being said, Ms. Watley has asked for a follow-up question.
Thank you. Just two or three quick things. I want a donkey.
We didn't promise
So
a donkey.
that's a little inside joke about the agricultural program. I do want a donkey though. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe a couple of goats. I could definitely go for a llama. Yeah.
I don't know about that, Ms. Watley.
On the AI thing though, this is serious. Especially without informed consent on the part of the parents, I would caution not allowing AI developers to use our children to develop the AI models. Do you understand what I mean by that?
We do. We don't. We would have to have an agreement in place for that, and we don't have any standing agreements on that, Ms. Watley. Mr. Brennis.
So one of the things that was discussed in the workshop would be, as part of our strategy in terms of our standard operating procedures, any contract that we would execute for services for the district would expressly prohibit the use of our data that our students input into that system to further develop the model. So I understand your point.
Okay,
and contract considerations and AI are a big piece of it because, if you go into ChatGPT by default, most accounts are set to allow the content entry to further develop the AI model, and you have to turn that off. And so, we would obviously want our engagement with a vendor to provide services to default that to off and require it to stay off so that students couldn't even consider opting into that, because we don't want student content to further develop generative AI as a general ethical consideration. That was a big part of our discussion.
Good. And also to protect the data of our children.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're on
Okay.
top of that.
Awesome, awesome. I just had to, when I was listening to Mr. Prentice and Ms. Roberson discuss, I had to. And then the other thing is to Ms. Roberson's point about impact fees, especially as we are considering the west of the Ashley area, in addition to the poverty, but also the community development and the impact on the infrastructure needs and those things as well. Very, very vitally important.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And any feedback that you have for us or ideas, send them our way, okay? Thank you.
That's why we have a county council. Ms. Roberson,
Thank
would you like to
Ms.
speak?
Thank you, Dr. Temple.
Yes, I just had an aha moment when I think Dr. Temple and Ms. Jewett. So to Ms. Barori and probably Dr. Clamp, if we cannot afford the 20 million for the buses, would it be possible for those areas where where we're going to shift the time to look at additional lighting, street lights?
The challenge is that's not on our property. And so that creates a situation where we either have to get easements and then we've got maintenance issues. So it's just like, I know there's been voiced, let's get bus shelters at all of our bus stops. We got the same issue with those as well. So we can certainly work with, we're talking 6,000 bus stops across the district. So that's a lot of lighting in a lot of places and a lot of shelters. That might be one area we can seek some support from the municipalities and make that happen. But it's a tall order. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, that's it.
But again, ideas like that, throw them our way. I mean, we can still
Excellent.
mention them to the mayor.
Excellent. Let's move on to audit and finance.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion
A motion on audit and finance or just a
on
motion?
audit and finance, yes. Since you're wanting to move on, let's.
I would like to hear
I
your
am
motion.
open to moving. So on item, was it 5A, regarding the 2017-2022 capital program phase for sales tax capital maintenance budget reallocation. They're asking for a reallocation of funds to
Ms.
have.
Ms. Wiley, I'm going to stop you right there. The question before the board is for a motion to approve the reallocation of the funds as shown on the attached resolution. Do I have a motion?
That's what I was,
Do I have a motion?
that's what I was, the motion I was making was
Please say
about the
it. Do you have
resolution.
the motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Now we can have discussion.
I wasn't discussing it. I was
Let's
telling
just-
you what
I
the
just want
motion was.
The motion is written in the agenda. So please. So do we have any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I'd like to bring the motion up for vote.
That was really rude.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. On to item 5B, which is the question before the board is a motion to adopt the resolution approving the issuance of tax anticipation note to meet cash flow requirements. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion or clarification of the motion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. On to 5C. The question before the board is a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance of the general bond the general obligation bond series 2025 in principal amount of not exceeding $140 million. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd like to bring it up to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. On to 5D, which is the question before the board is a motion to approve the series of the 2020 CEEFC tender resolution. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd like to bring the motion up for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Next, on to item 6, which is executive session. in executive session tonight. We will be reviewing the superintendent evaluation review, appointment of members to the CEFC Board of Directors, potential purchase of real estate in West Ashley, potential sale of real estate in West Ashley, the Health Advisory Committee, and filling of a vacant community member position. With that being said, I'd like a motion to convene into executive session.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are in executive session. open session.
That's the move.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are in open session. The first item coming out of executive session is the superintendent evaluation review. There were no action items done in executive session. Yet in the prudence of being transparent, I'm going to ask Dr. Temple to give an update as to where we are and where we're going forward with the evaluation. Dr. Temple.
Great, thank you very much. This is a report on the superintendent evaluation process. As you recall, on January 27th, trustees received the superintendent evaluation process and instrument. Then on February 24th, trustees unanimously adopted the evaluation process and instrument, voting to evaluate the odd indicators in 2025 and the even indicators in 2026. On October 16th, trustees either received or picked up the superintendent's evaluation instrument along with the artifact binders for each focus area. The focus areas are 1, educational leadership responsibilities, 2, district management responsibilities, and 3, board and community responsibilities. October 23rd, the superintendent gave the State of the Schools address. All the trustees attended that event. On October 27th, trustees turned in, which is today, their individual copies of the evaluation instrument in a sealed envelope during executive session. Ms. Huggins was available for questions. October 28th, trustees, Ms. Pam McKinney and Dr. Carol Temple will compile the numerical scores and comments. Ms. Buffy Roberts and Ms. Lindsay Ann Thompson will be present for questions and clerical or legal assistance to prepare the evaluation report and a draft media release. On November 3rd at 4 p.m., trustees will attend a special called meeting to each receive a summary of the numerical scores and the comments. Trustees will also receive and approve the evaluation report as a unified message to share with the superintendent and the public. Ms. Huggins will then join executive session to discuss the evaluation report. Following the evaluation conference, the superintendent will have 5 business days before the summary of the evaluation report is released to the public in open session. On November 11th, we will release the evaluation report summary to the public. And those are that's our timeline. There'll be, so the reports we're receiving, our trustees receive the actual data from the surveys that have been collected from trustees. There'll be an evaluation report summary, which is a unified message for the board, and then a media release.
Thank you. On to item 9B, which is a personnel matter of appointment of members of the Charleston Educational Excellent Financing Corporation Board of Directors. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I move to approve candidates A and candidate B.
Do I have a second?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor, please vote.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Ms. Jewett? Ms. Jewett, you want to cast your vote orally?
Sure, aye. Sorry, it wasn't unmuting.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the 2 candidates are appointed to join the board, candidates A and B. Thank you. On to item C, which is contractual matter on potential purchase of real estate in West Ashley. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the motion is to acquire land at Long Savannah by condemnation or other appropriate means not to exceed the district's fair market value.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'd like to bring it up to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Jewett?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passed as word. Thank you. On to item 9D, It's a contractual matter regarding the potential sale of real estate in West Ashley. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the motion is to approve to list the property on MLS and to enter into negotiation of a real estate contract per staff recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? I'd like to bring it to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. On to item 9E, which is the appointment of the Health Advisory Committee filling of a vacant community member position. Do I have a motion?
I move to appoint candidate A.
Second.
I'd like to bring the motion up to a vote. All in favor of appointing candidate A, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, candidate A is appointed to filling the vacant spot. Thank you. On to other business. The first item up on other business, 10A, is certification of delegates for the 2025 Delegate Assembly of the South Carolina School Board Association. The question before the board is a motion to certify the trustees to serve as delegates and alternatives. Do I have a motion?
So move.
A second, and just an aside, I've also registered for that convention as well. My name's not listed though.
So before we pass or vote on the motion, should we discuss how the votes are going to be? I'm not going to be attending, so I will have my votes distributed between all the members that are attending. And then I would assume, do we have any other board members that are not attending? Then
The names are listed, if you'll click on it.
right. So right now, Ms. Bailey, Ms. Lieber, Ms. McKinney, Ms. Roberson, and Dr. Temple, and Ms. Watley.
Yeah, it's actually corrected on the
Oh, good.
screen.
They've added Ms. Watley to it. So,
I was planning on attending as well.
okay, so it looks like the only two that are not attending would be Mr. Hollingshead and myself. So our votes would be distributed amongst whichever, and if you have an odd vote, it would go on to Ms. Roberson. 17? Yes, sir. And we have 8, or we have 7 members going.
So that's about 2.4.
It's 2 votes to each delegate. And we have
Basically.
3 up for distribution. And
I mean, if there's a third, I don't know, we can draw straws.
Yeah, draw straws. Put the name, put it in a hat and pull out.
There you go. We can do that too.
do you want to just leave it to the delegates to figure out who's
Yeah,
going to be
we'll figure it
voting?
out.
Yeah, let's move on.
We have,
We'll fill it out.
Yeah,
They'll figure it
but-
out.
yeah, but we've got to figure
Figure
it
it
out
out.
to submit it to the form.
We have.
I mean, is there any opposite?
That's fine.
That's fine. We can do it next Monday.
Fair enough. Do I have a second? Oh, we already have, the motion's been made, the motion's been seconded, and the motion's been discussed. So not hearing any further discussion, I'd like to bring the motion up for vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion's passed, and we will distribute the votes accordingly. The next one is a motion to add a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees. I instigated, so I'd like to make the motion. I'd ask for a motion, Board of Trustees to schedule an additional regular meeting of the Charleston County School Board District of Trustees during the first week of November 2025 for the sole purpose of conducting the annual election of officers in accordance with Policy BD and Policy BE. Do I have a second? And I'd like to bring it up for discussion. When asking to do is to add this meeting so that I can attend in person on November 3rd, which is the same date as the special called meeting on the evaluation. I know there's been some other discussion in having at the same time, if we can I don't know if Mr. Parliamentarian will probably have to file a second motion on this.
Or amend it.
Would be to combine on the 10th, the COW meeting with the Board of Trustee meeting, which would eliminate the need to have a meeting on the 17th.
Staff would be pleased with that. Thank you.
I know staff, and I'm pretty sure most of the Board of Trustees would be very happy on that too. And
I'd like to say something. I think November 3rd is a really special time that we've called to spend valuable time with our superintendent for her evaluation. And I would like to keep the focus on that. I think having the COW and our board meeting on November 10th would be good. We could start our meeting at 4 p.m. And I would be glad to make a motion to that effect.
But the reason I'm really asking, because I think the Board of Elections meetings, because there's only two positions that get elected that day, and that's the chairman and the board vice chair. So to me, it's a simple little action. I really would like to be here in person to do that. And I know all the board members are going to be here for the evaluation, because I know how important that is. And I agree with you, it's a very special time. So I don't see it as being, a major inconvenience to, and I think we don't have to start at 4 o'clock. I think we can convene the election because that'd be the first thing up. I think we could set it at 4:30. At 4? Why not 4:30?
I think there was a conflict for personnel.
Are you aware of any conflict?
Mr. Frampton's availability is limited on that day. He might be able to do a 4:30.
meeting at 6 o'clock.
I also may have a conflict that day.
Are you going to be here for the evaluation?
I might not be able to attend in person.
Ouch.
What day are we talking about? November the 3rd?
That's next Monday.
Next Monday's fall break or whatever, the long weekend because there's no school on the 3rd or the 4th, right? Because of the election?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The adding of the regular meeting won't affect your schedule because it's going to be earlier.
That's correct. And I plan to attend by Zoom.
Yes, sir. We'll make arrangements for him to be here via Zoom, and Mr. Johnson can be here in person.
Because
at
I really see
4:30.
the election being very quick. With that being said, any further discussion?
What?
And Dr. Temple, we will have to make a separate motion if we want to combine the COW and the board meeting on the 10th.
That's correct.
All right. And I definitely will not be, I will be land overseas at The Hague.
Be able to zoom in.
So it
Yes,
looks like
representing the United States.
So trustee Jewett wouldn't be here, and then we are missing 2 trustees. So we don't know if they're going to be available on the 3rd.
Oh, the
Well,
3rd.
Ms. Jewett, you're planning on attending by Zoom or can attend by Zoom?
Yeah.
For the evaluation, yeah.
But, I mean, the 10th would be the same for you. You would be on Zoom.
No, 9-hour difference or 7-hour difference.
I see. So you're not attending on the 10th?
No, I am not. That's the date I have the problem with.
So do we call for the vote?
Yes.
But I might suggest a voice vote might not work for this.
I don't think a voice vote's going to work either.
We
Ms.
would.
Trudy, you're going to have to bring this.
What
up
is
for
the
a vote.
motion that we're?
The motion is to
Just
add a regular board meeting prior to the special called meeting on November 3rd.
Is this just
Date,
for the
time, and place
purposes
need to
of
be
electing
specified.
Is this just for the purpose?
Just for the purpose of
electing
election officers.
Electing officers on the 3rd? Okay.
Yeah, it's just for the purpose, the sole purpose of electing two positions.
Mr. Chairman, daytime and place need to be specified in the motion.
It's up on the screen, Mr. Grabowski, the motion with the, and if you want to adjust the time to 4:30,
I would like to change it to 4:30. I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
it's, I don't think 4 o'clock is, required.
That work with Mr. Frampton.
I understand.
it will. Thank
That'll
you,
work.
Mr. Brandt.
Good.
It came up.
Did it come up? No, it says 4. It needs to, yeah. Did you refresh yours?
Motion will come up. Refresh your screen.
Oops, I don't have
Did you refresh your screen? Frequently, the motion will come up when you refresh your screen.
Yeah, don't worry about any custom stuff. Just use the spreadsheets and yeah.
You'll just have to vote.
I'll voice vote.
His
Oh, voice-
computers.
Mine's not coming up. And I vote in favor, my motion.
Mine didn't come up,
Did you refresh your screen?
3 times.
He did twice and it didn't.
Yeah, I did
mine
twice. You're gonna have to do.
We have some more diligent issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Ms. Bailey voted yay.
Ms. Jewett, we need your voice. You want
Let's
to?
do it.
Yeah, I guess it's not coming up on mine. Nay.
Mr. Grabowski, your computer's not working, so.
And the motion passes. Now, the board will entertain a second motion. Dr. Temple? Or do you want me to make a motion to combine the COW and board regular meeting for November 10th
Yes, sir.
with the COW starting at 5:15 with the board meeting to follow? Is that enough, Mr. Frampton? Did you get that, Ms. Trudy?
Yes, we'll just have to bump it up a little.
Do I have a second? Ms. Bailey?
We have a second, so maybe we have discussion.
Now we have discussion.
Right. So my question is, if we're going to do both on the same day, is starting at 5:15 too late or appropriate?
What do you anticipate with the
So
agenda?
I think the policy, and I certainly yield to Mr. Johnson and Mr. Frampton. I think the policy requires that board meetings begin at 5:15. The spirit of that is that committee meetings, I mean,
So the
the committee
whole
meeting
start
could
early.
begin before 5:15.
Right.
The committee is because it's a committee meeting
Right.
with the board meeting following at 5:15. So the committee of the whole, that will have Mr. Prentice, the AI item on there. There'll be a superintendent's report and there'll be an update on student outcomes. So I would suggest starting no later than 4 on
4
that
o'clock.
day.
I agree, 4 o'clock.
So how did the motion read? Did it include the time for Cal or just for the board meeting? I know it's the combination of the two.
Did you specify a time?
I had said 4 p.m.
I think 4 p.m.
Well, but I'm asking, I know we've got a motion on the floor and I was wondering how it read.
Don't you think that's okay?
Correct time after discussion.
For Cal and board at 5:15, since that's our. We had
We had our
did
discussion.
discuss.
Yeah, if you could please bring it up for vote. And I think on this, we can do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Hmm.
Ms. Jewett,
Aye.
the motion passes. We've got our consent agenda items on item 11. Then on to closing items. The next upcoming meeting will be the regular meeting of the board, followed by the special meeting for the evaluation on November 3rd, followed then by a meeting of the committee whole on November 10th, to be followed that same day by a board meeting. And then December 8th will be the committee of whole and board of trustee meeting, another combined meeting.
There will also be.
An audit and finance. Do we have the audit and finance date?
November the
November
5th.
5th.
November 5th. So November 5th will be the audit finance, and then it'll be followed by a joint committee of the whole board of trustees on the 8th.
And we'll have everything ready for that. Yes. Sir.
Excellent. Do I have a motion?
What time is the audit and finance?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. With that being said, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Leave.
Aye.